Hi, happy Saturday. So nice to see you guys. If you're watching the replay, welcome to you as well. Don't forget that you can still leave comments, leave questions. We'll still be able to see them. YouTube will notify me and I'll reply if you have any questions. I thought it would be fun. And if you're live, hi, say hi in the chat. Let me know who you are. And also let me know your favorite place. We'll just kick things off, right? Let me know your favorite city. Is there a city that you're missing right now? Let me know what your favorite travel destination has been so far and why. And we'll talk about what's good. Will that destination hold up? Will it still be a good place to travel if you're talking about going there long term? Like if you're talking about taking a sabbatical or a career break, a gap year, will that destination still be a good place to visit? Because some of my faves would be a good place to take a gap year. Some of them wouldn't. And some of my least favorites might be better for a gap year than they were for a quick trip. Hi, Let John. Welcome. Let me know. Tell me about your favorite place. Tell me your favorite, like one of your favorite cities. So I've been trash talking Perth, Australia since I went to Perth, Australia, but it's for good reason. Perth is not fun. Perth is expensive. It's crazy expensive. Australia in itself is expensive. I went to Perth and did work exchanges, and I went to Australia and did work exchanges. I stayed with a family in Perth that had been building their home for 5 years. They were I guess they were paying cash as they went along, and they were building their home for 5 years. They had the garage up so far. So they lived in the garage, not kidding. And it was not uncommon. The neighbors, or they weren't the next door neighbors, but the neighbors were also building their home very slowly. The wife was having a baby and they weren't sure if they were going to be able to move in before the baby was due. Like Perth is just crazy expensive. Beer, like happy hour doesn't include drinks. That's how expensive Perth is. There'll be signs outside like happy hour 5 to 7, but drinks are not on special, just like food and snacks. I had a beer. I paid $10 for a pint of beer in Australia. Like, yuck. Hi, Tisha. So, no, Perth in itself is just not a good place to visit. I wouldn't ever recommend anybody going on a vacation to Perth. I wouldn't even recommend anybody taking a gap year to Perth. Internet is really expensive in Australia, which is weird. Internet is really expensive and really slow. So Perth is not on my good list. Perth is Australia, and it is also more racist than you would think. If you've ever met Australians when you're traveling, they seem like decent, fun people, but then when you go into their homes and get to talk to them long term, you find out that they are racist. They understand that their ancestors came and massacred the Aboriginal people, but they believe it was for their own good. Aboriginal people could not rule themselves. They cannot take care of themselves. They're somewhat. I did have an adult grown man from Australia. He was actually from New Zealand, but he lived in Australia since he was a teenager. Tell me that Aboriginal people's brains are different. They're not the same kind of human that other humans are. Yeah. So kick rocks, Perth. I can't tell you anything good about Perth except the beaches are beautiful. Like Australia is spoiled for beaches. Let John said he heard the same thing. Yeah, about the Aboriginals. Yeah. The beaches are beautiful. I mean, beautiful. I'm from Delaware in the US, so I'm from the East Coast. You don't have to drive very far in Delaware to hit a beach, but they don't look like that. Australia is spoiled for beaches. They're amazing. But so there are other beaches that are nice. I would never, if Australia is on your dream list, sure, go experience it for yourself, but don't get your hopes up. And don't move there. I can't imagine living there as a non-white person. I can't imagine. I didn't get mistreated, right? I clearly represent as Black and not Aboriginal, right? But I can imagine if people mistook me for an Aboriginal person, that my life would have been a lot harder in Australia. And they look like us. They look like me. But it was easy to, nobody ever thought that I was Aboriginal, but they really believe it's okay to mistreat Aboriginal people because they're not the same. That was my experience in Australia. If anyone has a different experience of race or beer prices, let us know. Am I misrepresenting this whole country? Now, I'm saying Perth because I spent some time in Perth on the west coast of Australia, and I spent some time on the east coast of Australia. Perth was worse. The east coast was better. Gold Coast and Sydney. I visited Gold Coast near Brisbane and Sydney. And there I had not a totally different experience, but a better experience. But still, I would not move myself to Australia. I would not spend a gap year in Australia. Hi, a Bayesian Queen. Hello. So guys, tell us. Go ahead and leave us a comment. So Let John already did. Leave us a comment. Tell us a favorite place of yours or least favorite place. You can bash places. I don't care, because I will also, if we stay on this video longer, I will also bash Manila in the Philippines. We can get to that as well. Let John. I love Paris, France. Have been twice. Want to go back badly. Paris, right? Paris is a love or hate place. There are people who go with like super high expectations, I think, and get really disappointed in Paris, which is a surprise because it's fun. Like Paris, there's a lot to do. There's a lot to eat. It's fun, right? They speak French. Everybody sounds high class. It's fun. Yeah. So I agree that I would go back to Paris. It's another place that I wouldn't want to spend long amounts of time. Other parts of France, probably. I would like to visit other parts of France. Paris is the only place I've been in France. But as far as doing a gap year in Paris, I can't see that. But I'm cheap. If I wasn't cheap, then yes, I could see it. I could see it because I think I spent $50 a night for a bed in a dorm room. $45 or $50 a night. So that takes it off my list. But I would definitely house sit in Paris. The museums. I went to the Louvre on, I think it is Wednesday night. It might be Thursday night. My cousin Marcy met me in Paris, which was great. And we went to the Louvre. Hi, Janice. And it was free after, I don't know. I don't want to tell you after what time because it's probably wrong. I think it was like after 7 p.m. or something. It was like 2 or 3 hours for free. It's not like we wanted to experience the whole Louvre. We just wanted to see Mona Lisa, right? That was it. So we just wound our way through until we saw Mona Lisa. We took some selfies. There weren't even a lot of people there when we were there. So that was a nice experience. But people have a hard time. Some people go there expecting Paris to be like clean. It's not clean. It's full of graffiti and street art, not even street art, just graffiti, just like people tagging stuff. It's full of that. The metro is crowded and hot, just like any other major city, almost any other major city. There are some pristine major cities out there, but they're also usually not all that fun. Like the dirtier, is that right? Like the dirtier the city, the better. So Paris is like a love or hate. I don't know too many people who are like, I guess I'm kind of in the middle, but I'm more towards love. So like on a 5 scale, 1 to 5, I would say it's a 4, 3.5, 4. I'd go back. But a lot of people are not into it. And I think it's people who expect it to be sparkling clean and, like a sanitized version. There are people who live there. There are people who live in the streets there. There are people who work there and take the trains. And, it's not just for tourists. It's a real live city. It's alive. Monique was on the last live stream. Monique is running 50 international races in 50 countries during the year of her 50th birthday or by her 50th birthday. She's an unstoppable journey. Paris is her life. She loves Paris. She lives in the Netherlands, but she loves Paris. All right, I'm getting behind. I asked y'all to leave some comments, and now I'm getting behind on the comments. Welcome if you're new. Leave a comment. Tell us your favorite. Tell us about your favorite city. Okay, let me get over and read some stuff. Let me re-put my welcome. Tisha said that's robbery, talking about the beer. It was robbery. Wine, I didn't say this. Wine is cheap in Australia. They, but beer is very expensive. That's why I tendered so much in Australia, because I needed somebody to pay for my drinks. Okay, let John. I was not crazy about Rome, but love Amalfi Coast. I would imagine Rome, when you were in Rome, it was super crowded. That's what I picture when I think of Rome, just full, just super crowded. So I can imagine that. And the old stuff, like everybody wants to see the same stuff at the same time, the Colosseum and the whatever. My Rome, I'm not up on my Rome knowledge because I haven't been. Amalfi Coast, is that near down south of Naples? Is that what the Amalfi Coast is? Is that Positano? Because that's on my list. I would love to get there. Tisha says Paris is very expensive, but she loves it. Yeah, it's expensive. It's hard to be a budget traveler in Paris. But yeah. Oh, I just lost the comment. If you 1159, hi, but as soon as I got down to your comment, it disappeared. I'm sorry. If you can retype it, I'll read it. Tisha, I'd give Paris a 4.5. Okay. I live in Brooklyn, so you're desensitized to the not so pleasant things. Yeah, I think that makes a big difference. I was not expecting it to be clean and all of that. And so I think that's why I was okay with it. And I think that when you hear people complain about it, those are usually the complaints. I also went to Paris after leaving Southeast Asia. So I was used to people following me around trying to sell me things. And that's another thing that people complain about. Like, you go to the Eiffel Tower. I have them right here. I went to the Eiffel Tower. Don't look at my desk. It's a mess. I went to the Eiffel Tower, my cousin Marcy and I, and they followed us like, you can't get away. So I bought a handful of keychains. I bought a bunch of like postcards. Because, that's what it is. People are going to be out there trying to sell you stuff. And I guess some travelers are just not used to that. Anywhere I go, people know I'm a tourist. So they're like, hey, buy this, buy that, buy this, buy that. Give us some of your American dollars. But that's a complaint that a lot of people have. And so, yeah, Tisha, being from a city, being from a major metropolitan area would make a difference in your experience in Paris. Yeah, she says she has these too. Yeah, I bought a handful of them. They break really easily. So I've already lost a few. Yeah, but they followed us. But they're harmless. They just want you to buy stuff. You buy, you don't buy. I had just left Southeast Asia. In Cambodia, they bring out the kids in Southeast Asia. Please, lady, please. I bought fabric. I bought paintings. I bought all kinds of stuff. I'm just like, here. And I don't negotiate. So they are always happy to see me. Please, lady. So I'm used to that kind of stuff. Let John says, okay, Rome wasn't really crowded except at the Colosseum. Okay. I love seeing the Colosseum. Yeah, I haven't been. But so why? But you said you weren't crazy about Rome. Was it because what was the reason? Amalfi is south of Naples. Okay. Yeah. So that's on my list. I would love to spend some time there. It's surprisingly not that expensive. That area and Sicily are not that expensive. They're on budget traveler, because I am a mega budget traveler and they're a good budget travel destination. So maybe I'll get there when things open up. So was there something specific about Rome? People in Rome, the locals or the tourists? Well, you said it wasn't that crowded, so it must have been the locals. You love the history and the architecture. Okay, but it was the people. Okay, yeah, that'll make a big difference. A lot of the places that are my favorite places, a big thing that factors is just what it was like interacting with other people, with the locals around. That's why Portugal is on my list because people in Portugal were great, helpful, friendly, pleasant, not happy. Like in some places, people are like, like in a lot of American places that you visit, they're like happy people. I wouldn't call them like happy, cheerful, but very pleasant and helpful and kind. And yeah. So that's one of the reasons that I love Portugal so much. Yeah. And Mexico, the people make a big difference. Yeah. So I can see that. I can see that being a problem in Rome. I can see people in Rome just being sick of this tourist crap. I can see that. All right, 11:59. Thank you for reposting your comment. I'm sorry I lost the other one. Oh, you're looking for a home abroad. This is not off topic. So we're talking about our favorite places, and will these places apply for like longer stays? Like, will they still be a favorite if we were going to stay there long term? So that's what we're talking about. That's not off topic. Do you have some do you have a top 3 list of places that you're looking at? I think you're American. So let us know. Do you have a top 3 list, and we can see if anybody can give you any advice? Let John. People in Rome are kind of rude, except for the hotel and taxi folks. They were cool. I had Peroni lemon beer, which I loved, but can't find anywhere. Isn't that the thing? Oh, when you get someplace and you're like, I have to have this every day of my life now. My life will not be complete until I have this again, and then you can't find it again. Peroni lemon beer. So I like beer with lemon on occasion on a hot day. So I can imagine that would be something good. Lemon beer. Yeah, I can imagine that would be good. Yeah, I have that with let me know in the comments, is there something that you've had, some food or beverage that you've had abroad that you just struggle to find now that you left there? My thing is mango sticky rice. So in Thailand, you can get mango sticky rice all the time, anytime, any restaurant. It's always good. It's a great dessert. I love rice anyway. Like I love white rice. I eat white rice all the time. So the idea of the sweetened condensed milk or whatever and the mango and the rice together is heaven for me. But when you go to a Thai restaurant in the United States and you ask if they have mango sticky rice, it's always on the menu, but they always say, no, they don't have it. Right. I guess it's a mango season thing. I don't know. But you can never get it. When I house sat in Austin just a few weeks ago, they had it and I ordered it. And then I was like, I should have ordered 2 because I can't remember the last time I had mango sticky rice. I mean, why would you introduce me to something that's going to change my life and then hold it back from me? I don't know. Janice says yes to the mango sticky rice. Yeah. That's what happens. That's what happens when you leave your house. You find out about new stuff and then you want to have that new stuff with you all the time. Okay, but I didn't finish Let John's comment. Amalfi had a totally different vibe and energy. Yeah, it's weird how you can go just a little bit of a distance and everything is different. A Bayesian Queen. This also happens in Belize. Was that? Do you mean the people selling stuff? I think that's what you're talking about. People on the beaches selling stuff. Yeah, it's a lot of places. It's a lot. Any place that there are going to be a group of tourists gathered, there are going to be a group of people trying to sell to those tourists. I mean, I just expect it. Sometimes you can find beaches that are very quiet, but they're also probably not going to have restaurants on the beach. You know what I mean? Like it's a trade-off. If you want a beach that's going to include restaurants and some bars and music and stuff, where you can hang out for days at a time and have fun, you're also going to have people trying to sell to you. I know that it gets on people's nerves, but that's life. That's life with tourism and people making money from tourism. Buy or don't buy. That's that. I buy and then I'm walking around with these little things and then people see that I bought. I got the little plastic bag that says, hey, I will spend money. And then more people start asking me questions, but I don't care. Money burns a hole in my pocket. I can't keep it. If I have $1, I'm spending $1. Okay. Yeah, Let John says, I'm fine with pleasant and content. I don't need happy. Yeah, there's a difference. Like people in Portugal they don't look like they're not like walking around smiling. I found people in Southern California look happy and they were rude to me, mean. Like you could say good morning and they won't say good morning. I'm a house sitter and a dog walker. I'm walking a dog. You would think that you would say good morning to somebody who's walking a dog. Like I have chosen a life of least resistance. I have chosen a life of peace and happiness. I'm out walking a dog on a sunny day. And I turn to Southern Californians who look, like they would be pleasant. And I say, hello, good morning. And they don't say a word. It's probably the only place in the world that I've had people just totally freeze me out. Right. So happy and pleasant are two different things. Happy looking and pleasant are two different things. So I found in Portugal, people aren't necessarily happy looking, but very pleasant, very helpful, very kind. Everywhere I go, it's obvious to people that I'm a tourist. And then I make sure that if I don't know where I'm going, like I will walk around with my phone clearly showing you that I'm lost and I'm looking at a map. Or if I had a paper map, I will open up the paper map because I want you to help me. And they do. Portugal is a place where people will stop and help. They do assume that you speak English though, because they have Black Portuguese people. They assumed that I spoke English and maybe was from Mozambique or whatever. I was asked if I was from Mozambique. So that's a thing, that I don't speak Portuguese. Yeah, and John, they will harass you in Vietnam to buy stuff, but I love Saigon. Vietnam is wonderful. Vietnam is another favorite place. Vietnam is hard, right? It's another place where it's hard, it's crowded. Some parts are very clean, but then some parts are dirty. So there are some dirty beaches in the south, which surprised me because the north of Vietnam is spotless, right? But Vietnam is hard to get around, and the motorbikes, like trying to cross the street with all the motorbikes running, is a challenge. Once you learn how to do it, which is just to do it, you just walk. They walk, go around you. If you want to, just wait for someone else to come along and walk beside them. Some old lady, just wait for an old lady and walk with her. But the key to it is just to walk. But once you've mastered some things in Vietnam, you feel like the world's best traveler. Like once I felt like, oh, I have a handle on this, man, I felt like the world's best traveler. So don't skip Vietnam. If you're going to take a nice long trip, or if you're going to move abroad for a while, put Vietnam on your list. If you like good food for very little money, and you're okay with either like the heat and humidity times 10, or like in the south, the heat and humidity was a lot, but in the north was cooler when I was there anyway. And I was there in like January and February, cooler, but I never saw the sun. Like the smog covered the sun. So you have to be okay with one of those things, but Vietnam is marvelous. Vietnamese people, the older people don't necessarily speak English, but they'll still try and they'll still talk to you. Yeah, Vietnam is tops of my list. Portugal, Vietnam, and Mexico for me. In Vietnam, there's a totally different experience from Hanoi to Hoi An in the middle and Da Nang in the middle to Saigon or Ho Chi Minh City in the south. Very different experiences in Vietnam. So find the right one. Like if you get to Hoi An, or if you get to Hanoi and you don't like it, go down to Hoi An and Da Nang. But don't skip Vietnam. You can't do better for prices either. If you're talking about staying there long term, their internet is cheap and fast. As a person who works online a little bit, I needed that, and I appreciated that. Vietnam was fast and cheap. The internet, food is fast and cheap. It's an amazing place. Okay. Lived there for 3 months. Yeah, Saigon was great, and it's a place where you can meet other travelers because it's such a tourist, or like a digital nomad destination, I guess I would call it. It's a place where a lot of people who want to work abroad and stay somewhere long term, a lot of them go there, flock there. So it's easy to meet other travelers. In Saigon itself, I don't know that I met other Vietnamese people, like friends, because I mostly stayed in hotels and hostels. But when I was in other parts of Vietnam and I stayed in homestays, became my friends, and their neighbors became my friends. And I had a lady in Hoi An every night after her work, she would sit out in her little red chair and pull up a chair beside her, and I would sit beside her, and we would eat ice cream and comment on stuff that was happening. She spoke pretty good English. She said she didn't, but she did. She spoke pretty good English, and she was pregnant. And we just sat and talked. She worked at the salon, like the mani-pedi place. And we just sit there and talk, it was such a strange experience looking back that I have a friend in Vietnam. But yeah, don't skip it. Don't skip it. If you hate the city that you're in Vietnam, just go further south. Just move to the next city. Da Nang is different. It's still busy, but it's different. And there's a beach right there. Da Nang and Hoi An has the old town. Enjoy Vietnam. Enjoy it. I miss it. Okay, 11:59. Yes, solo female travel, African American. Okay, Tanzania, the Gambia, or Panama. I haven't been to either of those places. So if anybody, all of you guys, if you have any experience in Tanzania, the Gambia, or Panama, let us know. Leave us something in the chat. Let us know what your experience was in either of those places. I know people love Panama because it's inexpensive, and they do have good internet there. If you're looking to, I don't know if you're going to be working or if you're retired, senior female. I'm going to assume that you're retired, but maybe not. But still, everybody wants good, cheap internet. So people love Panama for that. I don't know that Tanzania is that cheap. So if budget is your thing, as far as I know, Tanzania is not inexpensive. And I know their internet is slow because that's something that people complain about when they're traveling through. Kenya and Tanzania, I think, have slow internet. But it's Tanzania. It looks beautiful, but I haven't been. So anybody who's been, let's give us give us the scoop. Okay, and so back to the food. In Thailand, coconut ice cream, no words. I don't know that I had coconut ice cream. You see my face. I'm like, wait, did I even have coconut ice cream? I probably did because I love ice cream and I order it all the time. So I probably had coconut ice cream, but I don't remember. I'm not going to let you blaspheme the mango sticky rice, though. I'm just going to skip over that part of the comment. Yeah, a Bajan queen. Yeah, when you go to tourist areas, there are kids begging in a lot of places. It's heartbreaking. It's hard, right? So they tell you don't give money to the kids because it just encourages the parents to keep putting them out in the street to beg. It rewards the parents for, but school isn't free. They do need money for school and school supplies. They do have to pay for school and transportation to school. So it's heartbreaking. That's a difficult thing about traveling to Southeast Asia. Kids begging, selling stuff, just living on the streets. That's one of the reasons that I couldn't do Manila. I've never seen it like that. Just kids who live on the street kids who live on the streets. Christmas Day, I was there Christmas Day, and it was really heartbreaking. Let John, I lived in LA for 4 years. I feel you. Yeah, they were rude. It's I think I look pleasant. I'm walking a dog. I'm happy to be here. I'm house sitting. I'm not paying for a place to stay. I'm so happy. I turn to you when we're walking past each other. You're walking a dog. I say good morning, and you just, y'all can have LA. Keep it. Janice, I heard good things about Portugal. It's on my list. Portugal is everything. Just as challenging as Vietnam is, Portugal is easier, right? So you can ease in, yeah. So like Vietnam is a challenge, but Portugal is very familiar. It's just like any other European city, which is like similar to some US cities. So I am crazy about Portugal. If I was going to live somewhere long-term, that's number one on my list, or tied with Mexico. I don't know that I would have to choose between Portugal and Mexico. I would just see which one would take me, who would give me permanent residency status, because they both are very, right now, or in the past, they have been very welcoming to American passport holders. So it's been easier to get permanent residency in Portugal and Mexico. So those are at the top of my list. Portugal, they advertise 300 days of sun, like their like Portugal tourism thing, their motto or slogan, 300 days of sunshine. And I love Portugal, and I didn't even get to the best parts. Like I didn't get to the beaches down in Faro. I think it's called Faro, that region, south of Lisbon. And I didn't get to the Azores, the islands. I just went to a couple cities. I went to Lisbon, Coimbra, and Porto. And I went to beaches that are right outside of those cities. Beautiful place, beautiful place. I don't, I can't see someone not liking Portugal. It was a little less lively for me, but it might've just been because of my choices. You know, like I didn't know people. I didn't meet any people. I don't think I did any Tindering in Portugal, and I didn't stay in I stayed in hostels, but I stayed to myself. So I didn't meet people. So I didn't have fun, and it's still my favorite place. Because there's just stuff to do. Just walk around and do stuff. Good morning, Cherise. Yes, welcome, welcome. So Cherise, leave us a tip. Like leave us one of your favorite place and why, or one of your favorite cities to visit and why. Let me see. I lost my comment. I don't know how to pin a comment, so I'm just going to keep saying it over and over. Welcome. Say hi. Tell us one of your favorite cities. Yeah. Welcome. All right. Vietnam has a special place in my heart. Me too. I started working online there. Yeah, it's easy to work online. They have a real digital nomad community of travelers and locals. Yeah, it's a fantastic place if you're looking to start a business and you need to live on dollars a week instead of hundreds of dollars and thousands of dollars. Vietnam is wonderful. Janice says, what are my thoughts on Malaysia? Okay. Okay, I'm gonna have to take a deep breath for this because so when I left, in 2015, I quit my job to take a year to travel for a year. And I really thought that when I got to Malaysia, I was gonna love Malaysia and I was gonna move to Malaysia because Malaysia is another one of those countries that's very welcoming to Americans. It's pretty easy with the US passport to stay. So I thought I was gonna love it. My layover was in Tokyo. I had a great day in Tokyo, got off the plane in Malaysia, and that heat and humidity knocked me to my knees. I have not experienced that in my life. I've been to New Orleans. I was stationed in Texas for 5 years. I experienced 5 summers in Texas. I've been to Houston for Labor Day weekend. Like I thought I knew what heat and humidity felt like, but I did not until I went to Malaysia. It drove me out of that country. The things I couldn't stay. I couldn't. The things that I thought I was going to love, right? Malaysia is open. They open their doors to people with my passport. It's inexpensive. They're another place with fast, cheap internet, and digital nomads love it there. They have a good online community of Malaysian people too, like online business owners. Beautiful. Like there's some beautiful beaches and, just stuff to do. Penang is a really cool city, like a town, like old world town city thing. So I thought I was going to get to Malaysia and stay in Malaysia. You can get a nice place to stay for $300 a month. But I couldn't do it. Maybe. And okay. So that was the very first few days of my gap year. So I finished the full year and I had to fly back out of Malaysia to fly to Europe. After I had already been to Cambodia, Thailand, Vietnam, the Philippines, I went back to Malaysia and it was less awful. After having experienced other places, having been in that heat and humidity for a while, it was less awful. So maybe it's a place that you can get used to. I don't think I would ever be able to get used to it. But Wanda from the Black Women Travel podcast has moved herself to Penang, Malaysia. She lives there. She said she felt that when she first got there. She said when she got there, she felt like she had landed on the surface of the sun. And she's still there. So apparently you can adjust. I also we interviewed Wanda Actually, Sheeta's on the Loose, interviewed Wanda. We did it together, but it's on Sheeta's channel. And then I interviewed Tanaj and Faustino, a couple who spent some time in Malaysia. They're traveling full time, and they spent some time in Malaysia. And they just said they stay inside when the sun is out and they keep their AC on. For Malaysia, they have a high electric bill. I think their electric bill was about $30 or $40 a month, which is high for there. But they're from New Orleans, so they're like, yeah, we're just used to staying in the house when it's hot. So that makes sense. And then you come out when it's cooler. So that was my experience in Malaysia. Food was bomb. Oh my gosh. I ate so well. Every place I talk about, the only places I enjoy are the places where I ate well. This is why Paris is only like a 4, 3.5 for me, because I didn't eat all that well in Paris, even though there's good food. I didn't want to pay to eat well. In Malaysia, you don't have to pay to eat well. You just go to a street stall. I had some kind of fish with vegetables for, I don't know, $1, $2, a whole fish, and then nasi goreng, if I remember that right. It's a rice dish. Yeah. So Malaysia is a try it. Definitely put it on your list and try it. It's easier logistically than like a Vietnam. Vietnam is more crowded and just kind of harder. As much as I love Vietnam, it is harder. Malaysia was easier, but hot, and humid. And also I had a problem so I got there, I'm going to try to say this right. I got there during a national holiday, so people weren't working. And walking down the street, men just leered at me. I haven't been to Morocco. I've heard that it's similar in Morocco, especially for Black women. But men just made me feel super uncomfortable. And I don't usually feel like that. I was covered. I knew that I was in a Muslim country. I had on a long skirt, down to a long flowing skirt, took up so much space in my suitcase because it was so big, down to my ankles. I started with a short sleeve shirt and a wrap around scarf. I remember that first day I had that on, and I actually went back to my hostel and put on a long sleeve shirt instead, because I thought maybe they were staring because I had a short sleeve shirt on. It was like this, so then I changed into that, and still I got stared at all day long. That was strange. They were I was in an area that had a lot of men from Bangladesh. I think they're called Bengals, right? If you're from Bangladesh, I think you're called Bengali. Is that right? So anyway, I was in like a Bangladesh neighborhood, a Bengali neighborhood. I don't know if that made a difference. If I had moved to a different hostel in a different neighborhood with different people, maybe it would have been easier. But that's the only place that I've ever been where I've experienced that. I'm used to people staring at me. I'm tall, I have this hair, I stand out, I'm dark skinned, I stand out. So I'm used to people looking at me. Even in Vietnam, people looked at me, but they still were friendly and kind. And it was not the same for me in my experience in Malaysia. Now, Wanda didn't mention that. So it could have just been a neighborhood thing, right? Like I was just in a neighborhood that was full of yucky men. I don't know. But that was my experience there. So I got out of Malaysia quickly. And then when I flew back, when it was time for me to fly back in, instead of going to Kuala Lumpur, I went down to Malacca, a smaller city south of Kuala Lumpur, and stayed there for a few days before I flew out instead of going back into KL. And I had a better experience in Malacca. Malacca is like a tourist town. Everything is set up for the tourists, so everything is easier. But it was still pretty and nice. But I think that the things that I didn't like about it are things that you can adjust to, right? The weather, you can adjust to that. So I guess that's the only thing yeah. So that was my experience with Malaysia. Let John, my Airbnb host in Saigon was the sweetest lady. She gave you fabulous earrings. Yeah, that was what really surprised me about Vietnam. I knew that I was going to like the food, right? And I knew that I was going to, like the low cost of living, but I didn't know I was going to actually make friends with Vietnamese people. That was pretty fun. That was fun. I made friends with her, but she wasn't on Facebook. So I haven't been able to keep in touch with her, but I'm pretty sure if I go back to that town and go back to that spa, she'll be there. And she'll show me pictures of her daughter because I brought her a little baby gift before I left. Okay, Charisse, I was in Portugal in 2012, but I was on tour. It wasn't really vacation. I'm searching for a place to move long term. I heart Portugal. It's like I said, it depends on what you're looking for in terms of fun stuff. I like beaches and museums and just hanging out. So I don't remember there being a lot of like stuff to do in Lisbon. Like in Guadalajara, Mexico, there's like just stuff. There's always something happening. There's like a holiday, an event, a festival, a parade, the dancers are putting on a show. Like I remember that kind of stuff in Guadalajara. I don't remember a lot of stuff happening in Portugal, but it was just fun and like cool and inexpensive and good food and good people. It's the number one, like tied for number one on my list of where I would stay. If I needed to stay somewhere for a year or longer or forever, Portugal and Mexico are the top of my list. They're number one, and there's like not even a number two. There's no place else yet that I would put on the list of the places I've been. And I've only visited, I don't even think it's 30. Sometimes I'd say 30 countries, but then I'm like, I need to count this because it might not be 30. It's like, at least it's more than 25. I don't know, but that's where I am. Okay, so like John said, I worked in LA. Coworkers would not return my hello or eye contact. Landlords were similar. So so it wasn't me. So then, yeah, it's their thing. I can't get used to that. My parents are from small towns. My parents, when you walk down the street, they are saying hello to everyone. And so when I walk down the street, I'm saying hello to everyone. So I can't get used to people not speaking back. Just speak. Like, I can't get used to that. So that LA, that was my whole beef. Well, that and the traffic. That was my whole beef and the cost of living. And you have to pay to park everywhere. Actually, I don't like LA at all. Yeah, you have to pay to park everywhere. Always traffic. It's just super expensive, ridiculously expensive. Yeah. Nobody. I don't know that LA is ever on anybody's list of places to live unless you're like in the entertainment industry. All right, so Charisse has a hot take here. Charisse says, I've been to Australia. I loved it. I believe I could live in Sydney. So the first place that I bashed, Charisse, was Perth, Australia. Now, I did say that Sydney was better and Brisbane in the Gold Coast was better, but I did not enjoy Australia. Too expensive, racist, and too expensive. Yeah, I gave Australia a good talking to. Okay, so 11:59, Malaysia was on my bucket list. Don't take it off your list. Keep it on your list. Just remember that it may be, I hope this wasn't all that dark the whole time. Just remember that it may take some getting used to. The heat, the humidity. I can't exaggerate it enough. I can't, no matter how hot and humid I tell you it was hotter than that. Let John, another vote for the people and the food in Malaysia. Yeah, I like the people and the food. The air pollution is a lot. Yeah. Wanda is wonderful. So Wanda does live in Penang, Malaysia. Again, she hosts the Black Women Travel podcast. If you're watching the replay, I'll put a link in the description to her podcast. She hosts the Black Women Travel podcast. She also hosts a Facebook group called Black Women Digital Nomad Entrepreneurs. If you have any interest in working abroad, like working as an entrepreneur, starting out a business of your own, from abroad, join her group. It's a Facebook group. I'll link to it down there. I can't talk and type, but I'm gonna try to link to it right now. I can't talk and type, so you're gonna have to bear with a few seconds of quiet. Yeah, Wanda. So Rashida and I did an interview series on our YouTube channels where we interviewed 12 Black women who took a sabbatical and traveled abroad. Wanda was one of the 12. She's on her video, her actual interview is on Rashida's channel. So if you go to Sheeta's on the Loose, you'll see it. But Wanda is the Penang person. Like she's lived in, she's from, I should know where Wanda's from. I'm not sure if she's from New York or Atlanta. I don't know where she's from, but and I should know. I'm going to say Atlanta. She used to work at CNN. So she's got all the tea on Penang, Malaysia, and just on starting a business abroad, starting an online business abroad. Okay, so that's the link to her Facebook group. Go ahead and open up a new tab and request to join the group now. Like, yes, seriously. All right. Okay, I'm gonna scroll a little bit, see what I'm missing here. But welcome if you're new, hi. Go ahead and tell us your favorite place or your least favorite. Bash, you can bash away. This is a safe place. If you hate someplace, tell us why. All right. I'm really behind. Okay. I missed this. Tisha, I didn't like London as much as I thought I would, but I would like to go back and give it another try. That's interesting, Tisha. I wonder if you stayed in the areas. So London has like neighborhoods like New York City, where there are different like cultural neighborhoods. You know what I mean? So I wonder if you had a chance to experience those or if you were just in like the touristy London. I house sat in London, but I was mostly in suburban areas. So I didn't get to experience fun London either. And I would like to give that a try. I was mostly in like suburbs. I stayed in Croydon for a house sit and another neighborhood that started with a C, but they weren't in London proper. So I'm wondering if that was your experience too, like if you didn't get to those neighborhoods that are lively and more fun and interesting, like Brixton. I've heard, so Pat Clay has been traveling full time for the past couple years, and Brixton is one of her favorite places. Like it's got a lot of Caribbean and Jamaican, or I guess that's Caribbean. A lot of Caribbean Brits live in Brixton. All right. Hi, Carmen. Thank you. She's complimenting my hair. I did my hair for the first time in, I don't know, months, probably months. Okay, lovely day 6. Hi. Domestically, you love Denver. International, Italy. So Denver surprises me. I know a lot of people have like been moving to Denver. There was like a rush, but I don't get it. Part of this might be my anti-winter bias, but tell us what you love about Denver. Tell us, share, please. What am I missing? Because when I think of Denver, I think of snow and no thank you. So share with us, what are we missing about Denver? Lord knows I don't get it. Yeah, so Let John, back to talking about Vietnam, Let John, I was not sure how they would respond to Americans due to the Vietnam War. I don't think they care. They won the war. And, they won. They call it the American War. I didn't go to any of there are war, like memorials and like you can go to like the tunnels, underground tunnels and stuff. I didn't do that. I don't do that kind of stuff. So I didn't do that. But I don't, like, it doesn't seem like they have anything against Americans. They won the war. They got, they got what they wanted. So no beef. They appreciate some American culture. They know American stuff, some TV shows and stuff. So I didn't find that was an issue at all. That was my experience in Vietnam, but I didn't go to the memorials and stuff, the war memorials. I don't do those. I'm not doing that. Sharice, I've got you seriously thinking about Portugal. Just everybody, put Portugal on your list. I don't care if it sounds interesting or not. You will love it. I enjoyed San Diego, Tisha says, not LA. I haven't been to San Diego, so maybe that's what I'm missing out. Maybe I need to get further south. Good afternoon. Where is the love? Welcome. Share with us your favorite place, your favorite travel destination, or your least favorite. Hi, Charmaine. Hey, girl. Hey, Charmaine's daughter is missing her graduation. I feel so sad about that. My nephew is also graduating from high school this year. Okay, let John. I'm in the Digital Nomad group already. Good. Okay. Janice, Atlanta is I think you're talking to somebody else because you live in Atlanta. Janice says, great interview with Wanda. Yeah, Wanda's interview on Rashida's channel is a lot. It's a lot. She tells everything. Wanda's not holding back. So she talks about her experience in Penang. She's Penang, Malaysia. She's talking about dating abroad, hair, right? Because when she left the US to move to Malaysia, she had locks. She had long hair. She just shaved it, buzzed it. She was like, I'm not dealing with this, So she talks about everything, all the kind of stuff that we don't talk about too much about long-term travel, the heat, the hair, the men, all of it. So that's on Sheeta's channel. Sheeta's on the Loose is the name of her YouTube channel, and you'll see the interview with Wanda. And that's whose group I linked to. The Facebook group that I linked to is Wanda's group. Okay, Sharice, we have a new entry here, a new country entering the chat. I have a friend who moved to Costa Rica last year. He mentioned that there are always big bugs and critters. Would that be the same in Mexico? Yes. Yes, there are big bugs and critters. In Mexico, there are scorpions. I killed a scorpion probably once a week. Scorpions, surprisingly, just lay there until you kill them. When you see a scorpion in the house, you go and get a shoe and you bash the scorpion and the scorpion curls up and dies. At least in the states of Mexico that I was in. Maybe in different states, they are different, right? There might be some fast scorpions somewhere in Mexico, but where I was, they're slow. They don't care about much. The dogs don't even bark at them. So I was upset when finding scorpions because I thought that they would sting the dogs and but the dogs didn't care. Like the dogs would walk over a scorpion to go out the door. Mm-hmm. So no big deal. The most buggy place was Australia. Australian insects and spiders and bugs are that big. I saw a daddy long legs or something that was literally this long. Like it was that long. And the kids were like, hey, look at this. And I was like, hey, no. The mom, I didn't get rid of it. I had to wait for the mom to come and get rid of it. It was I'm talking about the body of the insect was this long and then it had legs. No, thank you. Another thing in the negative box for Australia that I forgot to mention. Yeah, so there are bugs and stuff everywhere. I don't know. I don't know. Where are you going to go that there are no bugs? That's not my thing, Sharice. Is that Sharice? Yeah, Sharice. That's not my thing. I wouldn't not go someplace because of the bugs. Costa Rica is marvelous. Costa Rica is paradise on earth. When I came back from Costa Rica, my mom was talking about, I don't know if she was writing a sermon. My mom is a minister. I don't know if she was writing a sermon or what, but she was talking about heaven and what does the Bible actually say about heaven? And I think I may be getting it all wrong, but I think she was saying that heaven is on earth. I think that's what she was saying. And I was like, oh, so Costa Rica. Costa Rica is amazing. It's peaceful and quiet, and people are great. Costa Rica is wonderful. It's not a super budget friendly place. It's a budget. It's like on the budget scale. It's more budget than like a Paris, but it's not budget like Panama or Mexico, but it's marvelous. I only spent a vacation, like a week in Costa Rica. But anyway, you're asking about bugs. There's nowhere in the world you're going to go that doesn't have bugs. Forget that. Find a spray that you like when you get there. And that's it. Like in Southeast Asia, it's geckos, and they're not only geckos everywhere, like just everywhere on every wall of every place that I've ever stayed, there were geckos, but they make noise. And I remember saying to the girl, I think this was in the Philippines. I said to the girl, like she was a girl, a young woman who worked at the hostel. I was like, what is making that noise? And she was like, it's this. And she was like, don't they make that noise where you come from? And I was like, I don't think so. We have lizards, but I don't think they make noise. But they like make a noise there. Like, yeah, like that. But you get used to it. Yeah, so don't, Charisse, in case I didn't make it clear, don't take any place off of your list because of the bugs and the insects. There's bugs everywhere. Like, I don't know where you're going to go. She just joined Wanda's group. Good. It's marvelous. A Bayesian queen. I love my eye. I'm sorry. I put on makeup, and of course my eye is like, what is this stuff? It's been such a long time. What is on us? What is on my face? So my eye is watery. I'm sorry, a Bayesian queen. I love the interviews you did with Rashida. Yes, I waited every day for the next one. That was so much fun. So I think I've convinced her to do another big thing, but we're going to do it in September or October. That was so much fun. It was so much fun talking to other women who did what we did, right? Who took time off of work and traveled, just travel, just go until the money runs out. Yeah, so that was fun. If you haven't seen those videos, they're on our channels. If you look on my channel, you'll see videos for that. The 12 days of career breaks. 6 are on mine, 6 are on Rashida's channel. So make sure that you subscribe to her too. Yeah, they were so much fun. So I hope that we'll do something. We're doing something big in September or October. Yeah, I don't want to talk about it. But yes, I loved it too. I'm glad that you loved it and appreciated it, because I did too. It was so wonderful. I'm so proud of I'm so proud of that project. Tisha said there's a big difference between San Diego and LA. So I will give it another chance on your word, Tisha. If you're wrong, I will let you know. I'll give it a chance. I do have a friend who's from San Diego who is a real chill dude. And so my life was changed by 2 guys from San Diego, 2 young, like hipsters from San Diego. So maybe there is a difference. Yeah, because they changed my life. I met them in Brazil. I was in Brazil on vacation, and they were like, hey, why are you only down here for 5 days? We're here for 3 months. Like, what, you're doing your life wrong. They're like, yeah, no, you just quit your job. You take your savings and you travel to inexpensive places. And then when your savings runs out, you go back to work. And I did that. I actually have done that twice now. Now I think I'm done with the whole quitting the job thing, now that I figured out how to make money while I'm out. But they changed my life. Stephen and Michael, who were 2 brothers from San Diego, 2 young white guys. So maybe San Diego people are different. I'll give them a try. Yeah, talking about Vietnam, you're right. They won. The museum made me cry. Let John says the museum made me cry. Could not do the tunnels. My uncle served in the war. I wasn't trying to use the tunnels for a photo op. Yeah, I feel the same way. My dad was in the Vietnam War. That's why when I was leaving to go to Southeast Asia, he was like, I've been there. You don't want to go there. It's not funny, but it's funny. He said, you don't want to go to Southeast Asia. I've been there. Let me tell you what they're going to do. They are going to arrest you for nothing. They're going to trump up some charges. They're going to sell you into slavery. I was 41 years old. I'm like, Dad, don't nobody want. I said, there is still slavery. Yes. But don't nobody want no 41-year-old black fat woman working in their fields. I can't I can't pick rice. they, don't, they don't want me. It's gonna be okay. I have a phone. If anything happens, I'll call you. I'll call you. So yeah. But anyway, that's so Vietnam. So I didn't do any of the Vietnam War stuff. I also, when I went to South Africa, I went to an apartheid museum, but I didn't go to Robben Island because I just don't want to be filled with sadness. And also because it's hard to do those kind of tours with white people, being a black person. Because you go there and white people just say stuff that y'all know. I know every one of us has had this experience. They say stuff that just makes you angry, and you're in this place that you didn't come to be angry. You came to learn. You know, my mom and I went to the museum, the Civil Rights Museum in Memphis, which is wonderful. The Civil Rights Museum in Memphis, Tennessee is a fantastic experience. But this white woman was just so contrary, very white womanish. And so it was, so I don't do those kinds of things if I can avoid it, unless I know, like if I was traveling with a group and I knew that my group was going to go and experience this thing together, then that's one thing. But I'm not going when I know that it's going to be me and a bunch of white people. So I did not go to Robben Island in South Africa. And I didn't go to the Vietnam War Memorial things. They're not called, like I said, it's called the American War there, but I didn't do those experiences either. Yeah, so y'all know. Okay, so I'm not the only one. I know you said, and I get it. Yeah, so that's my choice. That's what I don't do. Cherise, no big bugs. Cherise, please, I'm begging you, please don't take places off of your list because of the big bugs. Please. If there are big bugs, there are also big lizards that'll eat the big bugs. Don't worry. Charmaine. So we have another country entering the chat, another city. Charmaine loves Havana, Cuba. Charmaine told me this before, and I was like, really? Because here's why. I have questions about Cuba. Nobody ever shows like what they did there. I've seen lots of Cuba pics on Instagram, pictures with the old cars, but nobody shows what they did, and they never ever show the food. I think you did say, or it may not be you, Charmaine, but somebody did tell me the food in Cuba was not it. They did not eat well in Cuba. And that hurts me. I don't know that I couldn't enjoy a country if I didn't like the food. Food is more important to me than almost anything else. In terms of a travel destination, like picking a place that I like. You always hear me when I say I like a place. It's because of the food, the weather, the prices, and other people, And anybody else talk? So let's talk about Cuba. Anybody else have good experiences? I didn't see beach. I haven't seen beach pics of Cuba too much, I don't think. So maybe I'm missing that, and I need to go back and look at the beach pics because I love a beach. Street vendors. Okay, so I can imagine street vendors being friendly and fun. But yeah, okay. So Chef Cassandra. Hey, Cassandra. Chef Cassandra's got something to say about Cuba. She's got a lot of Cuba photos. The food is good, but you have to know where to go. The food is hidden. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Because you don't see nobody, like, I don't go to Mexico. I'm not in Mexico for 4 days without me posting pictures of food, and you never see pictures of people's food in Cuba. So that made me very suspicious. I peeped that. Right? It made me very suspicious of Cuba. Cassandra, I went for an extended period. The beaches are great, and you can get fresh fish on the beach. I would love that. I'm down for that. Okay. So Charmaine and Chef Cassandra have added Cuba to the good list. I would have put it on the bad list, even though I haven't been, but they're adding it to the good list. Yeah. So another thing that concerns me about Cuba is that I am never right with money. Like, I never can figure out how much money I'm going to need someplace. That's why ATMs are friends. I like ATMs, and it scares me that you have to have your cash. If you have an American bank account, right, you have to have your cash before you get there. That really worries me about Cuba. For me personally, I would have to travel with someone else who is more responsible. and borrow money because I guarantee, because I never can estimate how much things are going to cost. I just can't. It's just not my spiritual gift. I can't estimate what things are going to cost ahead of time. I can go back, and if I already have some evidence of what things are going to cost, I can make a good assessment. But if I've never been there before, clueless, right? I would factor in money for a place to stay and food. I would totally forget to factor in taxi money. I guarantee that. I would totally underestimate the shopping that I would do. I'm sure about that. And, stuff, this experiences and excursions. So Cuba scares me. It's not a place that I would go. I can't wait to get to Puerto Rico. Now, Puerto Rico, I don't know why I haven't been. Puerto Rico, it actually, every now and then it pops up in my Facebook like history, the day that I got stood up for Puerto Rico. So I was supposed to go with some people and everybody backed out. And so I still haven't been to Puerto Rico, as much solo travel as I've done. So, okay, so y'all say yes to Cuba. So everybody add Cuba to your list. Remember that there are some challenges for Americans going to Cuba that you don't have other places. So get your money right before you go. And you can't work there, right? Is that right, y'all? Because the internet, you're not getting free Wi-Fi. Am I right about that? Or is that old? Is that over now? You can't go to Cuba and be a digital nomad. If you need internet use, Cuba is not it, I think. Tisha, the food was disappointing in London. Hard to connect with people. Yeah, food in London. London has they have everybody's food there, but their actual food is not good. Right. So British people, they eat baked beans and hot dogs and baked beans for breakfast. Seriously. Or like, they don't call it hot dogs, but it looks like hot dogs. Sausage, I guess, and baked beans for breakfast. No, thank you. But they do have every kind of food. It's like New York City. They have every kind of people and every kind of food. I had some great Indian food. I don't know a lot about Indian food, but I had some great Indian food in London and some other stuff. I don't know. I ate a lot. I can't start naming stuff. But I did find that, their food, they still eat like poor peasants. That's my impression of British food. They are used to the king eating delicious stuff and they eat slop. They still seem to eat slop. I don't know. But they do eat other people's good food. Tisha says, and so remember I was saying in London, maybe it's the neighborhoods. She said she did get to several neighborhoods, but can't remember which ones. Yeah, that makes all the difference. Pat loves Brixton. I didn't get to Brixton. And so it's part of why I don't have a good London story either. And then I house sat there and I didn't have friends. I didn't meet people. I didn't do any Tindering. I didn't do any of the stuff that I usually do to meet when I want to meet people. So I also don't have London at the top of my list. I'm really behind in the in the cities, but welcome. Let me put my welcome back in. Okay. So Cassandra, back to Cuba. Yeah, the money is a pain, but there are ways around it. Your host is your lifeline. Okay. No, I guess they have ATMs, but they don't have, Americans cannot do business with Cuba, basically. So if you want to, your bank will not let you withdraw money in Cuba. You have to have your cash before you go. It's a embargo. Is that the word? Embargo. Yeah. So Americans can't take money out of the banks in Cuba. There are banks, but we can't use them. I'm sure Canadians can, I guess, because Canadians can do whatever. Everybody likes Canadians. But Americans you cannot use ATMs in Cuba. But yes, I did hear that your host can help you with some things, but you have to have a good host. Cassandra said she used to take $100 a week and rarely spend over $25. Really? Okay. So you see you spent $25 a week. Were you working on Cassandra's a chef, as it says. Were you working on the cruise ship? Everything is super affordable. You pay for accommodations in advance and there's nothing to buy? That's shocking. Charmaine, weigh in on this. So did you buy, Charmaine, did you buy stuff in Cuba? I'm talking like just stuff. What do I have here? I don't know. I bought a bunch of stuff in Portugal, but I don't have it. No jewelry, no purses, sandals. Okay, so Charmaine said yes to no Wi-Fi. Yeah. So if we're talking about places that we love to visit and that we could stay for long term, I couldn't do it, Cuba. Okay, so Cassandra said, okay, so here's more Cuba talk. Thank you guys for enlightening us. Charmaine says you need a Wi-Fi card that gives you access. Okay, access to a router. So you get a card that gives you access to a router. Okay. In Puerto Rico, beautiful from a scenic perspective, but people were all from the Bronx. I can see that. I got tears in my eyes. I can see that. That's funny. I can see that about Puerto Rico because there are parts of Mexico where everybody is like, yeah, oh yeah. I used to live in LA. I used to live in California. That's funny. Okay. Yeah. So Puerto Rico, so don't expect it to be like a different culture. It's just my neighbors. Okay. That's funny. Cassandra says in Cuba, she used Wi-Fi in the park. The hotspots were public. Okay. I've seen people do that too. I've seen people say that too. Cassandra says she loves Puerto Rico, but only went to San Juan. Yeah, I got to go to Puerto Rico to eat. That's a place where people post pictures of their food. I got to do that. I live in Delaware. We have Puerto Rican people, but I can't picture. I don't know that I've seen a Puerto Rican restaurant anywhere in Dover. Won't. So I want to go just to eat, like not kidding. Not even a little bit. So, all right. So we've decided that Cuba, good place to visit. Don't stay too long. Is that a good assessment? I'm still shocked that there's nothing to buy. It's not capitalist, I guess, but still, Vietnam is not capitalist, but everybody's selling something. I'm shocked by that. No jewelry, no. Okay. I mean, I haven't seen pictures, so it makes sense. I have not seen people coming back like, ooh, I got this purse in Cuba. We had this dress made in Cuba. Like in Vietnam, you go and you get yourself a whole new wardrobe. I got outfits on outfits on outfits made in Vietnam. Shoes. I just destroyed a pair of shoes that I had made for myself in Vietnam. I'm sick. I'm so sick about it. Okay. All right. Let's see who else. What other countries have entered the chat? Let us know. Lovely Day wants some info on Quito, Ecuador. Another place I haven't been. So who can give Lovely Day 6 some Quito, Ecuador info? All I know is that it's like eternal spring, I think, because of their high altitude, not unlike some places that I like to go in Mexico. High altitude, so good weather. And that there are there are like droves, a lot of American and Canadian retirees around there. Cassandra, okay, we have another country entering the chat. Another city, did not enjoy Barcelona. Me neither, which is strange because I speak a little Spanish. I love Mexico. I didn't enjoy Barcelona. Well, I had a bad experience. My luggage was stolen at the airport before I could get it. Stolen off the conveyor belt. That might have something to do with it. So I spent my whole trip washing my clothes out in the sink and trying to find underwear. At the time, I was a size 20, US size 20. You can't find that size of underwear in Barcelona. I couldn't find underwear that fit me. I bought a pair of pants and a t-shirt, and I just rotated and washed my clothes in the sink the whole time. So that might have something to do with Barcelona, but I just didn't find it fun. Find it interesting. Madrid looks more interesting. I've heard Madrid is also more racist, but Madrid and then southern Spain, Sevilla. I just talked to Travis on my channel the other day. He's a musician and he really is all in on Sevilla, Spain. So southern Spain looks cool, but Barcelona, It's a nice place to visit, but I do think I agree with you, Cassandra. It was overhyped. Yeah, let John won't be somewhere too long without good food. Yeah, Janice, food is so important when traveling. Yeah, it's always. I mean, I'm not ashamed. That is at the top of my list. Cassandra, the restaurants in Cuba, the government restaurants in Cuba are trash. You have to go to someone's home. Okay, and take your own salt and pepper. I heard that too. Okay, yeah, no seasonings. I don't know, y'all. Now Cuba's moving back down off the list. All right. I don't know. I'm all in for affordable places, but I want to eat good and I want to have fun. Yeah. Fish and chips in London. Who said that? I just missed it. Let John. I had fish and chips in London. No taste. No taste. Yeah. Chef Cassandra, Tinder is the new tour guide. It sure is. I'm a fan of Tindering. If you get to a place and you're like, oh, it would be nice to have some friends here, get on Tinder. Like seriously. In different countries, men are different, but they're all the same. I mean, like I don't know what it's like dating women. I know dating men, and they're all they're all the same. So I recommend it. You're gonna have to push some men. In Australia, you have to push them to actually go out. Their Tinder is more like a pen pal thing, in my experience. This is the men that I communicated with. But in most places, it's a great way to get a tour guide. I recommend it. And I've been the opposite. I've been the tour guide, right? I've been the person who in Vietnam, I had been in the town for a few weeks already, and he was new. And he was like, hey, let's hang out. And next thing I know, I have given this man a comprehensive tour of the city for free. Smart. Genius. I recommend Tindering. When you travel, I recommend it. The only place I couldn't do it was South Africa. South African men want to marry you immediately. Not an exaggeration. I don't know how to judge. I would just assume everybody is totally insincere. All the men in South Africa on Tinder were just, baby, I love you. You are everything that I have ever prayed for. Like, dude, I didn't even tell you my real name yet. Like, what? Why? But, you might be able to find a sincere one. Yeah, because Canadians can use the ATM in Canada. Okay. Thanks, Cassandra, for all of your Cuba info. Maybe we should talk. I need to get you on my channel. Yeah, we need to talk about this. We need to talk about your cruise ship. We need to talk about you working on a cruise ship. Anybody interested in that video? I don't know that anyone would want to work on a cruise ship this year. But maybe once things are different, once the Rona has kicked rocks. Yeah. I don't know. I think yes. And if anybody's interested in hearing what it's like working on a cruise ship, let me know in the chat. Janice, I said that I never found any Cuban or any Puerto Rican food in Dover. And Janice says she never had any good food in Dover. And then she said, I don't mean to offend. So Dover does, we have crab cakes. We're like between Baltimore and Philadelphia. So we have crab cakes, and you can get a good cheesesteak or a good sub here. You can get a good sandwich. Even our gas stations have good food. We have Royal Farms, which has good chicken. We have Wawa, which has good everything. So our gas stations have good food. But yeah, you're right. You're also right. Okay. Hi, Ayana. Thanks for joining us. Ayana says Barcelona is congested and dangerous, and theft is a big problem. Absolutely. absolutely. Barcelona is pickpocketing central. Barcelona and like Rome. Yeah. Yes. That's the first time I ever used a money belt and was like, yeah, I need this. I'm not getting on this train without my stuff attached to my gut. I'm not even putting it in a purse. Yeah. Yeah. So Barcelona, the thing that turned me off most about Barcelona was the beach. Like it's not a beach. They made it. And I don't know. It's just sand on top of cement. I don't know. I might be picky, but I'm from a place where we have beaches. They're not beautiful, but we have beaches in Delaware. I know what a beach is, and that's not a beach. It's like a port where they just dump some sand. I don't know. Barcelona, I feel like they're selling you a dream. Charmaine says in Cuba, she bought plenty of art and jewelry from locals and food at every cart. Yes. Yeah. Maybe Cassandra, are you not a shopper? Maybe in general? That might be. And seasonings. Oh, no. She says home restaurants in Cuba have seasonings. Yeah, maybe Cassandra, you're not a shopper. I don't know that I've seen people talk about buying stuff in Cuba, but I also feel like it would be a place to go buy stuff. I like that. I like jewelry. I have my stuff right here, but I don't want to get up because I don't want y'all to see that I have on sweatpants. That I have on my sweatpants / pajamas that I have worn for approximately 20 days out of the last month. I don't want y'all to see that. But I like buying jewelry and stuff, places, and art. So maybe you're just not yeah. Yeah. Maybe you're not a shopper. Let's see. I don't know. I know you like the grocery store, but you're a chef, so that makes sense. I like grocery stores too. Grocery stores are a great thing to do when you're traveling. I love going to grocery stores in different countries and just seeing what they do, what they eat, what their brands look like. Some of them are the same brand with a different name. It's fun. Cassandra says everything in Barcelona is tiny and it's the home of Zara. Yes, that's where I was introduced to Zara. I bought some t-shirts there. It's its own country. Nowhere to me in Spain is more racist than the Catalan region. That's where Barcelona is, right? Barcelona is Catalan, right? I've heard that Madrid was worse, and I've heard it more than 4 or 5 times. I've heard it like many, 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 many times. So I believe it. I believe that. But I would like to go to Madrid just to see it. It looks beautiful. There's some beautiful like museums and stuff there. Okay, Cassandra says, I'm too old for Tinder, but I browse. No, you're not too old, first of all, because there's some old men on Tinder. If you're into old men, you don't even have to be into older men to be on Tinder. They're on there. They just don't tell the right age. You have to have eyes. You have to use your vision because they'll be like, I'm 34. You're like, no, 53. I see it. 34, and I don't want a woman over 29. Whatever, dude. In Barcelona, Cassandra kept her money in a sock. Yeah. Barcelona. Yeah. Danger. Pickpocket danger. They're probably the pickpocketing capital of the world. Sharice is interested in that video, Cassandra. I'm going to send you a DM somewhere, and so we can hook up if you're interested and talk about life as a cruise ship employee. Because I've thought about that. When I came back from my gap year, before I started house sitting, I started looking at how can I keep it going? I want to travel and I don't have any money. So what can I do? And that came up because cruise ship employees, depending on your job, and we'll talk about this, depending on your job, when you're in port, some people can get off and enjoy the location, right? And then some people have to stay on the boat, depends on what your job is. So I thought about that. So I'd love to talk to you about it if you're interested, Cassandra. She said she did buy art. I said, are you just not a shopper? Is that why you? She said, because you said that there's nothing to buy in Cuba, but now you're saying you did buy art, but you had to slow down. In Morocco, I bought a rug and had to pay $200 to get it home. Yeah. I think about that all the time. I see people shopping in the stores, but I assume that they're like Europeans. It's probably much cheaper to get it to Europe than it is to get it back to the US. You see people shopping their hearts out in pictures in Morocco. I haven't been to Morocco, but when people take pictures of in Morocco, they're always in there shopping, buying those beautiful rugs. But it's probably a lot cheaper to get it to Europe because Spain is just round the way than it is to get it to the US. Anybody new here? Has anybody not shared with us your favorite place and why? If you haven't, now's the time. Also, don't forget least favorites. So Charmaine, you told us that Cuba, you loved Cuba, but where did you hate? Tell us about your least favorite. Cassandra, share with us a Bayesian queen. Let John gave us all the scoop on why Rome was not all it's cracked up to be. So let us know if there's a, and Tisha, I don't know, Tisha, did you tell us? Oh, Tisha, did you work on a cruise ship? She says, yeah, your position greatly dictates your experience while working on a cruise ship. What did you do on a ship? Or did you work on a cruise ship? Or do you have, is it somebody you know, friend or family that you know? Sharice also, I thought about working on a cruise ship. I'm a singer, yes, so that's something I can do, yes. One of my high school classmates had a great career singing on cruise ships and then went to Broadway. He passed away young, but that's where he got a job on cruise ships and then ended up singing on Broadway. Yeah, Quinn Bass. Yeah, if you have a talent, a gift, an artistic talent, people will pay you to perform that anywhere. You know, I hope that we talked about this. You saw the interview with Tisha. No, Sharice. I don't know if you're the same Sharice. I'm sorry. I talked to a rapper / musician / music producer who arranges his own performances around the world. His name is Travis T. That interview just went up about a week and a half ago. Yeah. If you have a musical talent, if you perform music, or if you're a DJ, people will pay you to perform anywhere in the world. Yeah, we talked all about that with him. When I Tindered, I met a lot of musicians who were just out. You know, a hotel, they go from like restaurant bars and hotels and they pay them for a few months or a few weeks. And then they move on to the next and to the next. Yes, check out that video. Yeah. So that's how I was introduced to it. You know, you hang out with this guy, like you match with this guy on Tinder and he's like, oh, I'm performing tonight at such and such. Come meet me there. You know, you get your drinks for free because he gets to drink for free. And I'm like, wow, I got to learn how to play the guitar. This is awesome. So the hotel or the resto bar or the venue gives him a place to stay and pays him, and he gets free food and drinks. And then when that gig is over, after a few weeks or a few months, or maybe just a few days, move on to the next one. Yeah, and I met I think I met 2 singer guitar players and 1 DJ. And that's what they were doing. So yes, watch that video. And if you're Sharice, if you want to go anywhere in the world, people will pay you to perform. I know. I already know. I see it. Where is the love? Hi, welcome back. Tell us, did you share? I think we saw you. I think you've been here, but tell us where you love, like give us a favorite city or a least favorite and why. Tisha was a server, wanted to be an entertainer. Yeah, because they were happy. Yeah. Yeah, I've heard like there's a hierarchy. A comedian, I watched some YouTube videos, I think, of a comedian, and he was like at the top of the chain. He got his own room, and of course, he didn't have to stay on the ship when they got to port. Yeah, so he was like on top of the world. And then, of course, your cruise ship money, from my understanding, the money that you make on a cruise ship, you can't really spend it on the ship. You know, your food is free, your room is free, so it's all going into your pockets. So I was totally interested in the idea And then I found out about house sitting and I was like, why work? Y'all know work is a 4-letter word. Okay, you could definitely get a job at hotels in Mexico, making other gringos comfortable. How? I could get a job at a hotel in Mexico. Ah, and we've got a new entry here, a new city or country or city, a Bayesian queen. Her favorite is, I can't pronounce it, Ambergris Key in Belize. I don't even know what it looks like, and I'm assuming it's gorgeous. I have only seen beautiful pictures of Belize. Tell us about why this is over others. And then your least favorite place, Mazatlan, Mexico. I can see that. I haven't even been to Mazatlan, Mexico, but I can assume that because it's it's the Baja part of Mexico and it's full of Americans. It's not, you don't feel like you're in Mexico. You're just on a resort somewhere. You could be at any resort anywhere. Also, it's probably full of crime, because a lot of those tourist places are just crime central. So I can imagine that. As much as I love other parts of Mexico, I have no desire to go there at all. Yeah, so I can see that. I'm sorry, I'm reading to myself. Turks and Caicos is boring after a few days. I love the beach, but come on. So this is the difference between us. Okay, so it depends on your type of vacation. Turks and Caicos, I haven't been, but I know about beaches. So beaches, in the beginning, they're wonderful. After a few days, you've had enough. But if you live at the beach, it's a fantastic life, right? So if it's a beach where you live there, it's a wonderful life. But it's not like I'm going to live here for 3 months and be happy. You probably won't enjoy it for 3 months, but like 6 days, yes, or a year or 2, yes. You know what I mean? But for that intermediate period of time, beach life, yeah, it gets boring. But on the other hand, if you live at the beach, like my dream day would be, I wake up, I go swimming, I come back, I have breakfast, I sit down, I write because I want to write a book that I haven't even started yet, right? I write for a couple of hours, I take a nap, I go to the market, I buy my food, I come back, somebody cooks the food. I like grocery shopping, but I don't cook. I don't like cooking. I go back to the beach for sunset, like I could see a life that revolves around the beach, but I don't want to have to, but I wouldn't, it's not fun to live there for like a few weeks. That's my opinion. I'm just rambling now. Charmaine did. Okay, so I know this too. Charmaine's, this is a surprise. Her least favorite place was Montreal. So boring. The food was blah, very hard to commute. Trains are expensive and complicated. I don't remember anything about the people. To me, the pictures of Montreal make it seem like, oh, I'm in France, but it only took me, 2 hours to get here. But I guess it just doesn't have what France has, right? Just because it looks like France and they speak French doesn't mean that it's fun. Yeah, so that was sad and disappointing to me. That's sad and disappointing because it would be like a way to do French stuff, but not pay to get to France. Cassandra says the Love Boat ruined Mazatlan. Yeah, because they were always going to Mazatlan. And in the old days, The Price is Right and Wheel of Fortune, always the prizes were a trip to Mazatlan. In the old, did I say the old days? Why am I calling myself old? Y'all know what I mean. When I was a kid. Yeah, Cassandra, tell us. Okay. Cassandra, excuse me. Pardon me. Cassandra said to get a job at a hotel, and everybody's like, how? So let's see what she has to say. Charmaine, I retract that. I did get some amazing poutine in Montreal, but that was about it. I didn't realize so many people only spoke French. Yeah, I would assume that they all spoke English as well. I know they speak French, but I would assume that they were bilingual and not that they only spoke French. That would surprise me too. I haven't had poutine, but I love me some French fries. So I know I would enjoy it. On the other coast of Canada or other side of Canada, Cassandra, I love Vancouver. Fancy, modern, cheaper than the States. Food is great and people are friendly. Good bike culture. Are you sure it's cheaper than the States, Cassandra? Because when I watch House Hunters and HGTV, Canada is crazy expensive. I'm sorry I said the old days. Y'all are laughing at me. I'm sorry. I don't know why I even said that. I've never said that before about myself, my childhood, that it was the old days. Yeah. Are you sure about that? Cassandra's saying, okay, at hotels, she would always get requests to teach. Teach what? Oh, like chef stuff? I can't teach chef stuff. Nobody wants to learn to cook from me. I can scramble some eggs. I make some mean scrambled eggs. That's about it. Cassandra, we're confused. Hotels will hire you as a contractor and willingly swap a room and food for hosting Americans. But what do you mean by hosting? Like welcoming them? Don't they have, like, you welcome them? Cassandra, I wish we could see you. We need, okay, forget Vancouver. No, ain't nobody going to Vancouver. Tell us about hosting. What, because they have a concierge or whatever at the hotel. Yeah, we're going to need, I agree, Tisha. We need an interview with Chef Cassandra because she knows stuff and she's just dropping pieces of it. Doing social activities. They have people that work in the hotel. I know. She said, I can only type 200 words. All right, do you know somebody who's doing this now or who's done this recently? If you do, well, I want to interview them and you. Because so y'all know that I do work exchanges through Workaway. And you look on Workaway and hotels and hostels and stuff will ask people to come and do stuff. You see a lot of yoga teachers. If you're a yoga instructor or a massage therapist, now these should be paid jobs, but sometimes there are like very, very short-term work exchanges where they give you food and accommodation. Right. Nannies, if you want to come take care of kids at the hotel. I've seen that, but I haven't seen like hosting work. Okay, please do put me in touch. She says she knows somebody and she can put me in touch. Cassandra knows a lot. Cassandra, you are in Wanda's group, right? Black Women Digital Nomad Entrepreneurs. That's another reason for y'all to join the group, okay? Because Cassandra knows a lot and this is where you can find her. I'm 90% sure you're in that group. I'm searching right now. I'm sorry. I haven't talked this much in a long time and my voice is sounding bad. You're not in the group, Cassandra. Are you? Wait. Well, join the group and then we'll try to get Cassandra in the group. Yeah, she's in there. Okay, so join Black Women Digital Nomad Entrepreneurs. I'm going to put the link up again in case you haven't joined it already. I'm not affiliated with the group. I'm just in it. This is not my group. I'm not trying to make any money from you for joining the group or anything like that. I'm just in the group and it's a place where Black women who want to live a life of either travel and entrepreneurship or one or the other or both come in, ask questions, answer questions, share information, just like we're doing here, but to get back and forth, not like having to go through me as the intermediary, trying to read and scroll at the same time. All right, Cassandra says, I don't mean to be rude, but rich white Americans feel better with someone from the States, even if it's a Black person. That helps the hotel bookings. Okay, so for the beginning of this, I totally get that rich white Americans, yes. Okay, I've experienced that myself, right? I house sit in Mexico. They will take me over a Mexican house sitter. Yes, so yes. But I'm shocked that hotels will pay me. Americans are unnecessarily nervous about Mexicans and they don't trust it. Yes. So yes to that. I have seen that with my own eyes. I totally agree. And I do know Americans would rather deal with another American, even if it's I I don't know jack about this place, right? They will stop and ask me for help before stopping and asking a Mexican for help. I don't know. You want directions? I don't know. I just got here like you did, you know. Excuse me. So yes, I do know that, but I'm surprised that a hotel would want me there. I guess I'm not surprised now that I think about it. Now that I think it through, I'm not surprised that a hotel would be like, okay, whatever. What's it going to cost them? A room and some chicken tenders. I do drink a lot of tequila, but other than that, okay. You're right, because they can't legally pay you. You're not allowed to work in that country, so they can't pay you, but they will pay you under the table. As a traveler, I've seen plenty of people work in hotels and resorts and hostels and stuff, and technically you're working for the room and board, but sometimes they'll pay you too, cash money, which is not legal. So they try not to do it, but some will do it. Okay. We're going to talk, Cassandra. Okay, so y'all make sure that you're subscribed to my channel and make sure that you have notifications on. Ring that little bell, click on that bell so notifications on, because I'm going to have these videos coming up ASAP. Okay, I'm going to get Cassandra on here. We might do a live stream with Cassandra so that you can ask questions while we go, because she knows stuff that I didn't know. I knew you knew about cruise ships. I know you're a chef. I know that. But I didn't know the other stuff. So we may have to do it as a live stream, or maybe not. Maybe we'll do a recorded video. We'll think on it. But yeah, so somebody asked me the other day about being a medical like concierge, because there are a lot of tourists who come to countries to get medical work done. Could you be a concierge who helps them navigate that while they're there and helps look in on them, not nursing, but just like get them to their appointments and stuff. And that is absolutely a thing. It's a thing in Mexico. When I house sit in Mexico, there's a couple of dentists that are very popular with Americans in Lake Chapala. I tell people all the time, my mom went there and had dental work. She had a partial denture done for 1/10 the price of the US. So, and then a woman, my mom and I stayed in a place, and the woman got all of her teeth removed, and all the teeth that she did have, she had a handful of teeth, and she got all new implants, dental implants, over a matter of days. So people do that. People come from the US to Mexico, and yes, they do want someone who speaks English to help them navigate things. So yes, it is a thing. I just don't know anyone who does it. So we need to get together and find someone who does it so that they can give us the info, give us the 411 on how. This is in Lake Chapala, Mexico, very close to Guadalajara Airport. So it's very easy for Americans to get in and out, and Canadians to get in and out. They're popular for dental and vision. So eyeglasses, because even the glasses are cheap. Eyeglasses and dental work is very inexpensive down there. A lot of the dentists are trained in the US. Some of them, I don't know about a lot, but some of them are actually trained in the US. And anyway, but they're in Mexico. Yeah, so Lake Chapala is the area that I know best, but I'm sure that there are other centers for this kind of thing in other hotspots for this kind of dental tourism or medical tourism in other parts of Mexico too. Yeah, Janice. So my mom went to a place called Dental Express if it's not Lake Chapala, it's Ajijic. I'm going to type that in. They have the best reputation, allegedly. I didn't research for myself. I'm telling you, between her and the old people that I house sit for, they always, um, when I said my mom's coming, they were like, "Oh, Dental Express." When I said my mom's coming and she's going to get some dental work done while she's down here, they would go, "Is she going to Dental Express?" And she's had no problems. She came back, she saw her dentist, and her dentist asked her where she got her partials from, but there were no complaints about the quality of them. Yeah, but there are hotspots all over the world for medical tourism. I would like to get eyes. I don't know if I should tell you all this, but it's too late because I already started the sentence. I would like to get eyelid surgery in Poland. Poland is very popular for that. I don't know why. A lot of Asians get eyelid surgery to make their eyelids less Asian looking, right? I would like eyelid surgery to make myself look less 45. I want to look a little younger, and I think that that would do it. so, so I personally have looked up blepharectomy, I can't say the word, blephar, whatever. I've looked up that particular surgery in Poland. So yeah, there are hotspots for different types of stuff in all over the world. And so I think being a concierge for that kind of thing could be very lucrative as well. I personally am not interested in staying in one place. And that's the kind of business where you need to be in that place. Like you live here and you are the concierge. Even if you just do it a few months out of the year, you have to be committed to being in that place. I'm not the best at that. I'm not the best at saying I'll be in this place for these months. I like to go with the flow right now. But for some of y'all, this would be an amazing business venture. And maybe I could be your assistant when I'm in town. Cassandra, has anyone had dental work or surgery in the Dominican Republic? Anybody? Not for me. I mean, not me. I'm saying no from me. But if anyone has, Cassandra, let Cassandra know. All right. So where is the love? Says, I see a birthday gift. New teeth and a trip to Puerto Vallarta. Yep. Yeah, it's a thing. The lady who had her teeth removed and the implants, she had her teeth removed and they gave her like a fake, they gave her fake thing for a few days and then they went back in and did the implants. She was there for a while. And they loaded her up on pain meds. They loaded her up with so many pain meds that I was afraid that she would have a hard time flying home. Like, I was like, that airport, when they screen you at the airport, you might have some problems. But that's unimportant. But yeah, she was our neighbor in the like Airbnb. We stayed in an Airbnb that was kind of like a hotelish thing. It had a pool and it had several rooms, like several. We had an actual house. We had a house with a kitchen and 2 bathrooms and 2 or 3 bedrooms. My mom booked it in a living room. But it was like a resort type thing. And she had another room that was more like a motel room. No, actually, I think hers was, she might have had a kitchen too. Anyway, she was our neighbor and she had her teeth removed. She had some temporaries put in, and then they did the implants for her. I don't remember what she paid. I'm pretty sure she told us what she paid because she told us everything. She told us everything. She did tell us that Dental Express told her to stay in that place. The place was great. So they recommended the place for her to stay, and they have a van. So they drove her back and forth to her appointments. So they didn't have like a concierge type person, but they had a driver, which was very helpful. I'm pretty sure the driver picked her up at the airport too, because she came there without any, like, she didn't have any groceries or anything. So she didn't have her own car. Chef Cassandra. Okay, we've got a new country entering the discussion. I was pleasantly surprised by New Zealand. It was beautiful, the people were nice, and I got to see the Lord of the Rings set. In-country travel was difficult. Roads are not the greatest. All right. That is exactly what I think of when I think of New Zealand. I haven't been, even though I was right there in Australia. I didn't go to New Zealand, but that's what I think of. Beautiful, beautiful country, like beautiful scenery. And I think the people probably would be pretty nice because they're pretty spaced out. They have their own space. But I also did look at a flight from like Auckland to Christchurch or something, and it was really expensive. So it's like the US, where traveling within the country is expensive and not that easy. Whereas a lot of the world, like traveling inside of Mexico, is so cheap. You can fly from one side to the other for nothing, $50, $75. But New Zealand is more like the US in terms of getting around inside the country. But that's what I think. Cassandra says more sheep than people in New Zealand. That's what I think. That's what I picture when I see it. I would like to get there, but I'm not. I haven't been to Scotland, but I consider Scotland, especially the northern parts, kind of like what New Zealand would look like. And I feel like I could pass it off as New Zealand. I could be like, oh, yeah, this is me on my trip. And it's just me in Scotland. But that's what I think of. Charisse has been, and she loved it. Okay, so is it on Australia's level in terms of expensive, in terms of how expensive, like just food and drinks are? You don't meet I don't know that I met a lot of people in New Zealand. I mean, I don't know that I met not any New Zealand travelers. Because I sometimes just judge a country that I haven't been to by the people that I've met other places, right? So like Slovenia. I've never been to Slovenia, but anytime you go somewhere and somebody is from Slovenia, they will say hi and they will talk to you. A lot of people, are like, whatever, you're a Black person. I don't, why would I talk to you? Slovenian people will go out of their way to talk to you, have a conversation with you. It's really a strange thing. So it gives them, in my mind, I have a great idea of them. So one day, if I do get to Italy, I'll make sure, or if I get to Prague, I'll make sure that I dip over to Slovenia for a while and just see what it's really like. Yeah, so I just judge places based on the people if I haven't been there. Yeah, Cassandra, one of my best friends on the ship is from Slovenia. Yeah, it seems they must be wonderful because I don't care. It doesn't matter. I remember specific conversations with people from Slovenia. One guy who worked in a hostel that I was staying in, just friendly and chill. And then a family of Slovenians was traveling. They had 4 or 5 kids, maybe 4 kids. And the kids came over to me to practice their English. They were like, hi, they speak great English. So it's not the kind of country where they need practice. Slovenians and Dutch people and Germans, they all speak English. But yeah, I remember the kids coming over to, talk and have a conversation about just stuff so that they could practice their English. So it seems like it's a nice place. I don't know that I've met anyone from New Zealand, so I can't say, so I don't have an impression of the people. Cassandra said that was that Cassandra? Cassandra said they're good people. The people were nice. Yeah. That's good to hear because I have no impression of them because I haven't met anyone, I don't think. Yeah, so it is expensive. Okay. Yeah, unless I'm in Asia again, I probably won't get down to New Zealand. But I really want to do like a nice Scottish road trip. And in my mind, Scotland and New Zealand look the same. So I'll be okay. Charisse, I was there for a short while for like a day. We flew there from Australia. Yeah, she wants to go back to see it again. Yeah. Cassandra says, go to Croatia too. Yeah, I absolutely want to spend some time. I'd like to go to Croatia and Montenegro. Montenegro seems like an outdoorsy place. So I would need to like enjoy hiking and stuff, but I could do it for a little while. Let John, Laos has beautiful parts, but the food was my least favorite in Southeast Asia. I've heard that. I would prefer New Zealand over Australia. Yeah, I think I agree with both of those. I didn't go to Laos. When I was traveling around Southeast Asia, it was really easy to get into Laos or Lao or the Lao. I think it's Lao. I don't know. It was really easy to get in there. Everybody who was doing my little circuit, like I was, went, but I just chose not to go. It seemed like people were going there just to party because they were really lax on drug rules compared to a lot of Southeast Asia where, they're not lax on drug rules, on drugs. So it seemed like people just wanted to go there to party. And I'm not one, I don't feel like I have to go someplace just because. So I didn't go. But I've heard that the food, I've heard the same thing, that of every Southeast Asian country, food is amazing. Food is amazing. Thailand, Vietnam, Cambodia, Philippines, not the Philippines, skip the Philippines, Malaysia, Indonesia, but Laos, food, not going to impress you. The Philippines, the same, not going to impress you. Filipinos, so like having worked in hospitals, and having been in the army, I have friends from the Philippines and they cook for you. If you work in a hospital, the nurses from the Philippines will cook for you and they will bring food in. So I've had a lot of food from the Philippines. When I got to the Philippines, food wasn't good. Like they only cooked the good stuff. So I had the best experience. And then getting over to the Philippines, it was like, where's the good food? I don't know. So that was a really strange experience. I did not have good food in the Philippines. There's like not a lot of restaurants. Like in Vietnam, you walk down the street just like restaurant, even if it's just like a stall with some plastic chairs. But they don't do that in the Philippines. They go to Jollibee, which is like Chinese McDonald's, or McDonald's, KFC, right? They're all in on fast food. So, or like an expensive sit down restaurant, which I can't do. I am not doing. I'm not paying for it. So yeah, Philippines food, disappointing. So Laos, same. I can believe it. Hello, Gogo. It's okay that you're late. Let us know in the comments. Tell us something that your favorite place and why, or your least favorite and why. Your favorite city or country? City. Let's do city. Because country is too broad. What's your fave and why? What's your least fave and why? So I told y'all in the very beginning, so I don't know if anybody's still here from the very beginning. I talked about how I did not like Perth, Australia, because it's expensive and I didn't like the people and I didn't like it. Manila is a place that I don't like because it's hard to get good food cheap, like just local food, like in the rest of Southeast Asia. And it's a place that's full. The poverty is on another level, something that I just could not get used to. I couldn't shake the sadness while I was in Manila. But the rest of the Philippines is just amazing. They're amazing. The islands are gorgeous. They're always voted among the tops all over the world. So don't skip the Philippines. Just skip Manila. Like, just skip it. You don't have, there's nothing. There's no reason to go. I can't. When people say that they like Manila, I'm always super suspicious. I have a friend, so I met her in Thailand, but she was in Manila at the same time. And she was like, no. She had been to Manila and she was like, oh, it's so great. And now I can't trust anything she says because how could you think that place was great? Like what? I don't get it. Yeah, there was nothing good. I can't give you one positive about Manila. They have a lot of malls, a lot of big shopping malls. So there's that. But that's not going to be a fun vacation or a fun place to live. It's inexpensive, but it's not, I would never tell anybody to go visit Manila. Of all the places, I would say, just try it. Even Malaysia, right? Kuala Lumpur. I didn't like it, but try it. But Manila, don't try it. Just skip it. Let John, has anyone been to Egypt? I went to Cairo and Aswan on a tour, preferred Aswan. Cairo is great for history, though. I haven't been to Egypt. Anybody? That's from the pictures, I would prefer Aswan as well. I've seen pictures of Aswan and it looks beautiful. It's like I don't know. It's like an oasis in the desert. Is that right? That's what Aswan is? But I haven't been. Okay, go. My favorite place is Durban because of the food and the beauty. I've been to Durban. I took a nice road trip from Cape Town over to Durban. I drove myself, and it was fun and fun. Durban was fun. Food. I think I probably ate a lot of like pizza and stuff there. I don't think I ate local when I was in Durban, because I stayed in a hostel near like fast food stuff. And then that, not really boardwalk, but the beach side, had a lot of just restaurants. They had one place that had good French toast, and so I ate a lot of just not local stuff, just other people's food. So I didn't eat a lot of South African food in Durban, just but it was pretty, and the beach was fun. Like that was a place where I actually had fun. In a lot of places I don't do stuff. It's just pretty and I'm chilling, but in Durban I had fun. Durban, but I wouldn't put it above Johannesburg. I like Johannesburg better. I had a better social life there, and shopping was great. That's where I got all my stuff, all the stuff in those. Yeah, so Johannesburg, I would put it over Durban, but Durban, don't skip it. Like if you're going to go to Cape Town and Johannesburg, stop over in Durban as well. Beach was great. I don't think I got in the water. I was there in April. So it was like autumn there. But it was fun. And yeah, it was lively, and it's a place where there was always something happening. There was music happening. There was like was there wrestling? There was like a big wrestling thing happening there. There was just like stuff everywhere, something to do everywhere in Durban. Aswan is lovely. People, scenery, vibe. Yeah. Cairo is crazy. Lots of museums and the pyramids and stuff. Yeah, that's what I think of when I think of Egypt. When I think of Cairo, yeah, just give us your money, go see the stuff, but then leave and go to another part of Egypt to actually enjoy yourself. That's how I picture it. Kind of like Rome, probably, right? Like Rome, like you have to come to see the stuff, the history, but go to another part of the country to enjoy it. Leave Rome and go south to enjoy Italy. Yeah, lots of poverty in Egypt. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Go. I ate Indian food in Durban. I probably did too. Yeah. Cause yeah, I don't remember specifics. That's weird about Durban. I mostly remember French toast. I was there for maybe a week, but I stayed at a hostel for a little bit, and then maybe 2 weeks. I stayed at a hostel for a little bit, and then I moved to an Airbnb. And the Airbnb was just in a residential neighborhood, so I just grocery shopped then. So I didn't do a lot of restaurant trying out, but I know there are a lot of Indian people, like people of Indian descent in Durban. So I probably did eat Indian food too while I was there. Can't remember. It's sad when you forget stuff about a place. Okay, so has everyone given us their fave and least fave? Any other questions before we end? I'm going to go ahead and end because I've been on here for 2 hours. I'm going to go ahead and not end, but before I do, go ahead and make sure that everyone has given us a favorite and a least favorite. We've gotten Gogo has given us her fave. Did you give us a least fave? Lovely Day. You gave us the favorite in Belize, but did you give us a least favorite? Maybe you don't have one. If you don't have a least favorite, that's fine. I keep track of that stuff. I hold grudges. I will hold a grudge against an entire city. Atlanta, number 1, grudge holding city. Los Angeles, Manila. My 3 least favorites for reasons. All right, guys. I had a great time. I'm going to try to find a way to do some live streams where I can actually see your faces. There are, so we can try a Zoom call at some time, but that would require pre-planning. But I will try something like that. Maybe for Cassandra. I'm full of good ideas. Maybe when I talk to Cassandra, we can do that on a Zoom call if you would like to do that, guys, so that we can see each other's faces. If not, if that doesn't sound interesting, that's fine. That's fine. But if so, then yes. And we would just have to plan it ahead of time. And that's it. That's all it would take. That's all it would take. Okay, you guys are saying yes. So I'll talk to Cassandra. I have committed her to something that she has not agreed to do. but I think that would be fun. Okay, go. Good. Squeezing it in there. Least favorite, Nicaragua. It was expensive. Yeah. I don't know much about Nicaraguan tourism. Managua is the city, the capital, I think, but I don't know anything about tourism there. So I can see that it would be because everyone goes to Panama and Costa Rica, and Nicaragua's right there. So I would imagine it's because of the price, because probably the beaches are probably just as pretty if they're neighbors, but the price would be the reason people wouldn't go. Yes, so that tracks. I can see that. And let John squeeze in least favorite, Vang Vieng Lao and LA. We hate LA on this channel. Sorry. Sorry, y'all. Yeah. Ugh. Okay. Is it okay? Yeah. I don't want to start another conversation. I gotta go. My throat hurts. This is why we need to do a Zoom call so that you can talk. I don't have to do all of the talking. Go. Yeah, she went to Nicaragua for a tourist visa run. Yeah, I mean, went for a visa run and it was touristy from Costa Rica. Okay, so you spent a lot of time in Costa Rica. Okay, I need to look you up, Go, because I don't remember. I don't know if are you on Instagram? Am I following you? Costa Rica is a place I need to know more about. I've been there, but you hear about people. So I followed at least one or two families on YouTube who had moved to Costa Rica, but I don't know about the long term, what it's like to go there long term. I only know about what it's like to go there for short term. I loved it so much that I need to find more information about being there long term. Like, how hard is it to get permanent residency or temporary residency, and how expensive? I don't even know how expensive it is to rent an apartment there compared to other places. So yeah, I need to dig into that a little bit longer. Okay. I said it last time, but I mean it this time. Thank you all so much for joining in on this live stream. It only works when you're here and when you give information, because as you know, I only know what I know, but together we know a lot. Together we know it all, and we share it with each other. I appreciate that. I love talking to Black women in particular about long-term travel, because I think that we benefit from it in particular when we get to leave our racist countries and go and experience some privilege someplace else. I think that it only helps. It only helps our psyches, our minds. I love it. And so thank you all for what you shared about your favorite places, your least favorite places. Thank you, Cassandra. And I'm going to holler at you about scheduling something in the future. Again, make sure that you're subscribed to this channel, please. I would love to make sure that you can see the future videos. I don't want this to be a one-time thing, a one-off. See you in the future. If you want to be on the channel, if you want to talk to other Black women about something on the channel, I'm open to it. I need you. Like I said, I only know what I know. So I need to know what you know. If you want to be on the channel, holler at me. You can leave me a DM on social. I'm at Vicarious on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And my email address is stephanie@vicarious.com. Okay. Thank you. By 11:59. Thank you, Sharice, Go. Let John. Thank you, Tisha, Cassandra, Abasian Queen. Thank you, guys. All right. Lovely day 6. I think you're still here. I'm sorry if I'm missing somebody. Charmaine, if you're still here. Sharice, thank you. I'm sorry. I can't see everyone, but I can see. Where is the love? Thank you. Okay. Janice, I hope I see you guys again soon. Happy Saturday. Happy May.